Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and last week on the channel, I did a video of the 10 upcoming crowdfunding campaigns I'm most excited for. And then I had the idea of doing a video that's a little different, a little less optimistic, although I will say I still hope these games show up. But let's go ahead and talk about 10 crowdfunding campaigns that I am excited for. Some, that's probably the wrong title. This is basically CMON. We're having a conversation around CMON, cool mini or not, and the 10 outstanding CMON campaigns. And I'll be going through these and ranking the order of how excited I am for these, from least excited, or even honestly not at all excited, all the way to, dear Lord, I hope this game arrives. I really do want it to show up. But first, a little bit of background for those who don't know what's going on. CMON, cool mini or not, one of the epic crowdfunding creators in the space. Like, I have to double check the numbers, but they're like in the top 2 or 3 as far as most funded across the time. Like, they have over 100 million, more than that. They have like 120 million in funded campaigns over who knows how many years, putting out tons and tons of campaigns before they finally started to run into problems. Last year was the start of what is hopefully not quite a... We don't know where this is going to go. We don't know where it's going to go. They have a bunch of outstanding campaigns that they had not delivered when things started to rear its ugly head. But they have since delivered a bunch of their outstanding pre-orders, and I don't know if campaigns, I have to double check. There have been a bunch of things that have slowly shown up. Dune started showing up, the Witching Hour, Marvin Witching Hour, I believe other of their outstanding, the Dark Providence showed up. So a bunch of their campaigns have still been showing up even after all these money issues have happened. But there are still 10 outstanding crowdfunding campaigns, which is not necessarily the end of the world. They've had more than that in the pipeline before, but with them not running more things, it's now a weird situation where there's money problems in some capacity, and there's 10 outstanding campaigns, and without cash flow from more campaigns, what's the next step? And that's uncertain. They put out updates still. They still talk about how they plan on fulfilling everything. They have raised money. They had a funding raise, I think $2 million. They had a funding raise, whatever it is. There's still hope out there, but it's uncertain which of these campaigns will show up and in what order. I do believe DCeased might be next on the docket. I think I'd have to double check the exact list of what they've said, but there are a bunch of campaigns still coming from CMON. This is a lot of background. Very large crowdfunding creator, kind of didn't go belly up, but all their problems came to a head last year, and now we have 10 campaigns left to go. That brings us back to this, which they probably should update their website as well. They're advertising a lot of campaigns that are not currently active, but I don't know exactly who's on payroll. They still have people on payroll, but I don't know exactly who. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and talk about the 10 outstanding campaigns and the ones I want in order from least to most. But first, a shout out to our channel sponsor, AllPlay. If you missed it, AllPlay is a channel sponsor. They sell board game tables and board game bags and board game playmats and board games from them and their partners. But right now, the thing I want to talk about is they have a new thing going on for the next 30 days or so, depending on when you watch this video, of course, where they're starting these new like custom table drops. So they're basically saying, hey, we're making 20 of this particular table. In this case, it's the Helga, and they're available for the next 30 days. It's something different. It's not your standard AllPlay table. It's a little different, a little unique. If you're interested in this, here's what you can go ahead and get. Here's the options. Go ahead and tweak the playmats, the things you want for it, adjust the cup holders, all that stuff. You can go ahead and check this out. I'll link to it down below, but effectively AllPlay is doing custom tables as a new experiment, but they're not custom, they're boutique, small batch selection tables. This particular one is the Helga. With that, let's go ahead and dive into the CMON campaign, starting with number 10, A Song of Ice and Fire Tactics, a tabletop miniatures game. I don't care for this. Nothing against it. I've played this. This is not a bad game at all. I thought it was totally fine. It's a good skirmish game. The problem is I just don't care about it enough to get heavily invested in building my armies and learning the whole system and gathering all the various expansions. I like the world of a Game of Thrones, of A Song of Ice and Fires. I like the world of it, and the game itself is fine, but fine does not make me obsessed, and a lot of people like this more. I thought it was great miniatures, good rule sets. If you like this kind of skirmish experience, it might be more for you. For me, this was a very cool game with a very giant dragon miniature. This is a very cool giant dragon miniature. It gives me vibes of the original Joan of Arc dragon, if you ever had that. That was one of the coolest miniatures. Crowdfunding has gone through some weird times and weird places as far as the massive behemoths of plastic that sometimes show up your way. But the dragon's cool. The dragon's cool. That's the part I probably want most out of all of this. But outside of that, I just don't care enough about A Song of Ice and Fire Tactics. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just not the target audience. Coming in at number 9, we have Super Fantasy Brawl Reborn. This one is a little bit a step up. I'm still not super interested in it. Don't get me wrong, Super Fantasy Brawl is a game system that I loved once upon a time, but over enough plays, I found that it didn't have legs. It didn't have longevity. It was great for diving into a few rounds here and there. This particular campaign added Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like, you know, a new tie-in if you want the thematic aspect of that. I never cared for the world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so that's not particularly a draw for me. The overall game is a solid game. I also played this one. I played Super Fantasy Brawl Reborn. I played the original Super Fantasy Brawl. Great miniatures, great sculpting, all those things are solid, but ultimately for me, it's a game system I've played out, so even though I enjoy it significantly more than Song of Ice and Fire Tactics, I feel like I've seen what I need to see out of this, and so more content for it, just not super excited about it. Then we have the Adventurers. The Adventurers from CMON, this one only ranks a little higher than Super Fantasy Brawl. I almost had this lower, but I realized I've only played one of the 3 boards, and I'd like to play all of them. See, The Adventurers was an old school game that CMON brought back. They reprinted it, and they did the original 2 plus a 3rd version. I've actually played the 3rd version, A Tomb of a Pirate Queen, but I have not played the original 2, and I'm interested. I want to see what the game does as far as the extra elements. The basic premise is you're gathering treasure, you're trying to escape various bad things, trying to hurt you. Indiana Jones' giant ball of doom will hurtling towards you in one of the maps. But again, there were 2 different original games. They brought back 3 total. I played one of them. It was fine. It was cool. I do want to play more of them, but I'm not super obsessed with, based on the one I played, this is a fine game with decent mechanics and a sense of try to get out of jail free, get out before things fall apart around you. But I think this kind of game system has been done by Clank at this point better. I think Clank gives you thematically the system. This probably feels a bit more thematic or immersive in the way they handle it, but ultimately from a game mechanic standpoint, I just think Clank does this better than the Adventurers does. So, not bad, but again, not super obsessed or excited about it. It's a good game. Then we have Master of the Universe, the board game, Clash for Eternia. This one shows up at number 6 over here, or number 7, whatever it is, only because there is a small new content for the game. There are a few new characters. I want the new characters. That's basically it. I have everything else for Master of the Universe, so this is a great game. The only reason it's this low on the list is this is functionally mostly a reprint of the game, so that people internationally could go ahead and get the game, and the new content is for those who, if you wanted the new content, a few new characters, which I do want. I want Sky, Clone, and Jitsuchu by all means, but I don't need it. I have plenty of Master of the Universe content as is. I still have everything for this game. This one does fall into that range where I have so many big box games that don't always get tabled that honestly I even look at this sometimes and think, as much as I love the system, I don't play it a ton. Should I hold on to this, or should I just get more Zombicide and Cthulhu Death May Die to the table? Those are uncertain questions, but at the very least, this is still on the list because it's more content for a game I love, just a minor amount of more content. Coming at number 6 over here, we have Massive Darkness Dungeons of Shadowreach. And this point onwards, we now mark a shift between the less interested to the more interested. There's still tiers, make no mistake. There's still levels as far as how much I want any of these next 6 campaigns. But the first 4 over here, including Master of the Universe, if they never showed up, I'd be very sad for all the other people affected. But for me personally, it wouldn't make a big deal. Massive Darkness Dungeons of Shadowreach is the first one from these campaigns that I would be really sad if it didn't show up. Because I love Massive Darkness. I think it's an excellent system. I have everything from the original content. I have everything from the new content. It's an accessible dungeon crawler that is a lot of fun. And from playing the prototype, I didn't have access to all the new characters and classes, but I enjoyed the ones that they did have. This gave me more Massive Darkness content that was great to play. I think it's an excellent system. The only reason this comes in at number 6 is I have so much Massive Darkness content that if this doesn't show up, it's not the end of the world. Massive Darkness is a game I play twice a year, 3 times a year. I don't need that much more content for it. Do I want it? Yes. Unfortunately, I don't always have self-control when there are systems that I enjoy and love. And I love the miniatures. I love the accessibility. It's just a good all-around dungeon crawl system that is very easy to table and very satisfying and rewarding. I do find I pull out Cthulhu Death May Die and Zombicide more often, partially because I just know the systems better. I think that's probably mainly because I know the systems better. Master Darkness, I always have to slightly refresh myself on how elements work because I just haven't played it as much. But it is very satisfying and very fun, and yes, I do want more content for it. I just have so much that it wouldn't be the end of the world if it did not show up. Coming in at number 5, we have Mordred. To be clear, by the way, I definitely think that Massive Darkness is something that's more compelling overall. But Mordred over here, this is one that I want. I was interested in this game. The system looked cool. It might be a total bust. I do not know. At the end of the day, any game system I haven't played, and I will say from the list actually, from the list of games we're going over today, Mordred is the only one that I have not played. From all of the games, both the before this one as well as the after, Mordred is the only one I have not tabled. But Mordred looked cool. Area control, some interesting elements, the board folding into itself, all those things looked intriguing. But I don't have actually any knowledge around, is this a good game system, or was it just a crowdfunding campaign that honestly didn't do particularly well by CMON standards? That I don't know. But again, looked interesting. The art style, the miniatures, the world, the area control genre, all of those things, I definitely want Mordred. I don't know exactly when this one is showing up. At one point, it seemed like this was coming sooner rather than later. But then I think the most recent update, what's the most recent update in Mordred? Most recent update is CMON overall project status, October 1st, 2025. So it didn't get the most recent batch of updates, unfortunately. Yeah, Witching Hour and Dark Providence, those have shipped over there. So yeah, Dune Desert War shipped. So it just seems to be not a, I don't know. I don't know what happened with this one. It seems to be a little bit ghosted at the moment, like many of these. Some of these project updates get updates, some of them less so. I'm interested in this one. Again, if it doesn't show up, I will not lose a ton of sleep over it. But I do want Mordred. Coming in at number 5 over there, that was 5. Coming in at number 4, at 4 we have DC Superheroes United. Now make no mistake, I have more Marvel United content than any human being needs in their collection ever. I have everything from Marvel United. I have all the expansions, I have all the, I think I have all the promos, or most of the promos. I have the retail packs that weren't even available on crowdfunding. I love Marvel United. It's a game system that is very accessible, very fun. My kids recently started getting into it a lot more, so it's been even more fun to table it because they are enjoying it, and I like playing this. I play this solo, I play this with adults, I play this with my kids. I have played this in so many different ways, and it's such a fun system. And I like DC Superheroes United. I enjoy the putting it all together, the different systems. I mean, you can mix and match, and I probably will. Oh, that's going to be hard, because I probably wouldn't mix and match. When I say I probably will, what I mean is my kids will probably want to do it, and I, as a somewhat decent father who doesn't have the heart to tell your kids, you can't mix Marvel and DC, they are different systems, and also it's going to make my own OCD about collecting and storing it a nightmare, I will still let them. Because what am I supposed to say? They're toys. First and foremost, they are toys. Above all else, they are fun toys. But I do want this. I absolutely want all the DC United. I really hope it shows up. I hope the licensing makes us a higher priority than something. I don't know. I want this to show up. I like the system, even though I don't need more of it, which is a common trend from what I'm saying so far. You know, I don't need more Master of the Universe. I don't need more Massive Darkness. I don't need another area control game in the sense of Mordred. And I don't need more Marvel United of any kind. All that said, I do very much hope that this one does show up at some point, because, I mean, first of all, like, look at that. Look at the giant star. This is such a fun campaign. Listen, I'm happy that Asmodee has taken over from what CMON was doing. I'm happy that they are continuing in whatever capacity. They recently just had the Zombicide campaign, and that one not just did well, but had like an incredibly passionate end game with all the various people trying to hold on for like 5.5 days to be able to get that $4 million stretch goal. I'm happy that the type of campaign that CMON has done still exists. So few companies do those types of campaigns, and CMON, despite the fact that they had issues recently, they were able to maintain that model for a very long time and become one of the most successful crowdfunding companies out there. So I'm happy that another company is stepping in and continuing it. The world can use a little excitement as long as it doesn't come with, 10 undelivered projects at the end of it. But either way, DC United, not just a fun campaign, a whole lot of content, and I'm very excited for it if it ever shows up. Coming number 3, more DC. This time we have DCeased. DCeased over here from CMON. This giving you, let's go to the campaign part of things. This bringing you the whole Zombicide. It's more Zombicide, but it's more Marvel Zombies, again, with DCeased. I have the core box that's available for the retail box. I have that. If you missed that, you can go check that out on Amazon, whatever, for like $40 something. It's a pretty good price, and honestly, I've played that like 3 or 4 times already. But I had a lot of fun playing through this prototype. I thought they really they did an excellent job of making it an incredibly difficult experience, and I like difficult Zombicides. For me going through this, I can't remember which missions we played. I think we played all 3. I want to say there were 3 missions to play through, but we had our butts handed to us on this one. It was well done. I like the DC characters. I like the complexity of the system. I like how challenging it is to try to make your way through it. I like Zombicide. I like Marvel Zombies. I like DCeased. I like it all, and I want it all. And I don't know. I kind of wrestled with which one do I want more. Do I want DCeased more, or do I want DC Superhero United more? Like more united system. And I decided that DCeased is the one I want more. I personally overall enjoyed the Zombicide system more. As much as Marvel United is very accessible and fun to play, or the United system is accessible and fun to play, I just think that Zombicide is a more rewarding experience overall. I really hope that all the content for this shows up, because it was such a good implementation. It was a good implementation. That's all. It was a good implementation. And again, the campaigns were exciting. I'm like looking over all these stretch goals that I've covered in the past, and like, I want it. I want all the things. Man, these are good times. These are good times. Look at all this stuff. Good things. Good things. Lex Luthor over here. I've done so much content around these games, both covering the actual games, covering the crowdfunding. These were fun campaigns to go through. I really hope they show up. Coming in number 2, we have the Dead Keep. The Dead Keep over here from CMON, all from CMON over here. The Dead Keep is basically a kind of cross between Massive Darkness and Zombicide, and with a dash of Cthulhu Death May Die thrown in. It was very much built on the Zombicide system. Like, it's not a Zombicide game officially, but it's built on the Zombicide system. Very reminiscent as far as the overall action structure and the enemies and all that heading your way. But it just felt a little bit different in a way that I thought they did a really good job with it. I had a lot of fun playing through this one. My biggest critique or complaint is that I did feel the end game of it. I felt that when you're facing off against the final boss, they were trying to do a Cthulhu Death May Die system as far as the final enemies being harder to defeat, and I felt that they should have leaned more into Cthulhu Death May Die, because as it was, it felt like a step too far. It felt like it wasn't polished enough. I felt Cthulhu Death May Die did a great job, and I think that combining overall Zombicide with a Death May Die endgame aspect, that could be very fun. But it's not what they did, and again, I don't know where development will take us on this one. This is not a giant, tons of expansions, tons of content for it. They kept this very limited. It's more of a pre-order. They get core box, a few expansions, and that's it. But it was really well done. I hope people have the opportunity to try this one. I think they will enjoy it a lot. For me, this has the potential to be a 5 out of 5. It was not a 5 out of 5 when I played the prototype. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. And again, that's because some elements around the boss did feel like they could have been polished more. And prototypes, so we'll see where things go. But of course, I'm less optimistic about where things go, given the state of how the company has gone. But the Dead Keep is one that I would want this one more than DC Superheroes United, more than DCeased, because this one felt more distinctive. Make no mistake, I still, between Death May Die and between Zombicide and between Massive Darkness, I am covered on this kind of game. But it did feel like they did a good job with what they were trying to do, and I very much hope that the people who backed it have an opportunity to get their hands on it and play it and enjoy it. But that brings me to my number one, the one I am most excited about, the one I want the most, which is God of War, the board game. I had so much fun with this one. And this is one, I'm going to go on a tangent here. We're going to go on a bit of a tangent, because this is a game that when I covered this one, I got accused of being a shill big time. It's like, oh, you work for GameFound, you've done 3 videos on this campaign, which I do work for GameFound, and I did do like 3 videos on the campaign. But like, the problem is, look for consistency. This is like my biggest pet peeve, is look for consistency, because things like, for example, Song of Ice and Fire, I did a sponsored video. I think I did 2 sponsored videos on this game, and then nothing else. Those are sponsored paid videos from CMON covering the game, because they tell me, hey, please cover the game. Great, no problem, would love to. Didn't do a single video past that, but then we have things like God of War and over here, and I loved it. This one, I covered this one. I think I put out 3, maybe 4 videos covering it. Not a single one was paid for, because I was into the game. Like, if it's just about CMON, then where's the consistency in Song of Ice and Fire? If it's just about GameFound, why wouldn't I do it for Song of Ice and Fire? This is where, like, I just liked the game. God of War was such a good implementation. It did feel a little reminiscent to Death May Die, so it did kind of have that facing off against a bunch of small enemies, but trying to complete your quest, facing off a big bad who is challenging to beat. Overall, it felt a little reminiscent, similar to the way that the Dead Keep's endgame aspect, the final boss, felt like they were trying to lean into that. God of War felt, if anything, a little bit more than that. But it was a interesting, unique 2-player system, and they have a 3 and 4-player mode. I only ever played it solo and 2-player, and when you're doing a solo, you're controlling the other character as well. But it has this interesting tie-in where you want both your characters dealing damage to be able to level up. If you both contributed to the death of another character, of another enemy, then you're able to move up on this track and power up your characters. And I really liked that system. I felt there was a really fun system that I really enjoyed playing through. It felt unique and distinctive amongst other games within this line. That teamwork element really came through. Even when you were playing it solo, it really forced you to approach things differently and think about it differently. Now, the actual bosses, I still think Death May Die does it better, so it's one of those aspects where sometimes you try to be different, and being different is not always better, because sometimes the thing that's done best is the best way to do it. But either way, as an overall package, I thought God of War was familiar and yet also distinct from other systems within the CMON universe, and I really liked it. And I want to see this one delivered so much, because it was so good. It was so much fun. I'm not saying it's the best game ever. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that it was a different way to approach things that was really, really fun to get into, and I would love to I'd love to get my hands on a copy. Even a base game would be a good start. But of course I want all the goodness, because why wouldn't I want all the goodness and all the things? I don't know if I cared for the 3 to 4 player expansion. I'm not against it, but I really like I'd have to look into more what the rules are for it. But just the way that the 2-player mode worked was so smooth, and I don't see that being replicatable in a 3 to 4 player mode. So I'm interested in what other things they do, but primarily it's just the core system, and of course the world of God of War. God of War is an excellent universe and world to dive into as well, so that has me interested too. That's basically where we are. These are the 10 outstanding campaigns. I think I also realized as I was going through this, I saw a note. I think I missed the Assassin's Creed one. I don't know the status of that, so there might be an 11th. But I don't know where that one was, or if it's, I don't remember where. I don't know much about Assassin's Creed. They had a role-playing game for that. But either way, just a quick recap. Song of Ice and Fire, not for me. Super Fantasy Brawl, I've already played it out. The Adventurers, I want to try the other two maps, but that's about it. Master of the Universe, 2 new characters, not a big deal. Massive Darkness, I do want all the Massive Darkness stuff, but I have plenty of it, I'll be fine. Mordred, excited and interested, but also I might actually get it and then be like, it's not that great. There are better area control games. DC Superheroes United. I want it all, but also I have so much. DCeased. I want it all, but also I have so much. Zombicide, not DCeased. The Dead Keep. Very interested in this one, and also between the other systems out there, I am probably covered, but I still want it. And then God of War, the one I want the most, not even remotely a question. From all of these campaigns, I want this one more so than every other one. That has been a recap, a walk down memory lane for all the various CMON campaigns that are currently outstanding. I hope that a year from now, when I'm doing a video like this, it's like, hey, here's the final 3 and my thoughts on those. It'll be a very short video, but I'd be very happy to make a video like that because I would love to see, not just for myself, because I just talked through my own preferences, but there are people out there who back DCeased and it's their only Zombicide game. There are people who got heavily into A Song of Ice and Fire and really were looking forward to the sheer amount of content for this cool war game in a universe they love. Everyone, there's like thousands of backers out there, thousands and thousands of people who are looking to get their games delivered, and I hope for all of their sakes that they do get delivered. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed or weren't too depressed by this particular video, and as always, I hope you have a good one. My girlfriend told me, you act like a detective too much. I want to split up. I was like, good idea. We can cover more ground that way.